Alright, so Spike Lee's latest joint Highest to Lowest is not bad, worth a watch definitely, but let's be real, if we're talking true masterpieces, I gotta take it back to Blackkklansman. That's the one, that's the joint, and to prove it, we're diving into my favorite scene of the movie where Ron Stallworth and David Duke basically take their little bromance to the next level. Now, bromance is not a word I thought I would be using with David Duke and any black man, but here we are. Now, for anybody who hasn't seen the movie in a while or just wants a little refresher, here's a quick re-up. And if you're like, nah, I don't need that, don't worry, I got the goods, I got the dirty little timestamps down below, so you can skip ahead to the juicy breakdown. For everyone else, Blackkklansman dropped in 2018, directed by Spike Lee, and is loosely based on Ron Stallworth's memoirs. That's right, this is kind of a true story. We're in the 70s and Ron Stallworth, played by John David Washington, who is, by the way, Denzel Washington's son, if you didn't know, is hired as the first black officer in Colorado Springs. At first, they stick him in records classic, but after a while, he's like, nah, I'm not here to be bullied by prawn mustache having idiots and push paperwork all day. So he asks to go undercover, and he gets his shot because it's so easy back then to ask for a promotion and get it and be black. And he is sent to a rally where civil rights activist Kwame Turo is speaking. So Ron meets a girl, he catches feelings way too fast, and honestly, he does do his job, so I can't hate him for it. And because he does such a stellar job, he gets into intelligence.
Ron, I'm transferring you to intelligence.
What will I be doing there?
Intelligence.
And after reading about the local KKK chapter and thinking, I should definitely call them, he calls them up pretending to be a white dude. Remember, this is based on a true story. But here's the kicker. My guy forgets to use a fake name. He literally says, hi, I'm a Ron Stallworth.
Yeah, who's this?
Ron Stallworth here.
Bro, you had literally one job. To lie. Anyways, he gets invited to meet the local chapter. And obviously he can't, walk into a Klan meeting as himself.
They want you to join the Klan?
They want to meet me first.
They want to meet you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, you probably shouldn't go to that meeting.
So he ropes in his Jewish co-worker, Flip Zimmerman, played by Adam Driver, to help out. The plan, Flip is Ron Stallworth in person, and Ron is Ron Stallworth on the phone. Why didn't Flip just play both parts? I have no idea. But hey, it's funnier this way, so we'll go with it. After a few awkward Klan hangouts where they keep side-eyeing Flip for being Jewish. Now, they don't know he's Jewish, but I don't know, Flip's giving off some kind of Jewish vibe, I guess, because they just, at least Felix is very, very suspicious of him. And Felix is kind of nuts, or is some kind of Jewish sniffing bloodhound, either or. So during the very first meeting, Zimmerman meets the Klan, or organization as they prefer, and one of them, because they're not very smart, cryptically refers to an upcoming terrorist attack. This prompts Ron to decide that he needs to level up quick so he and Zimmerman can find out more. So what do? Well, you call up the Grand Wizard himself, David Duke, of course, played by Topher Grace. And just like that, we're at the scene that I love.
A lot of people think I hate Negroes, but I don't.
So this phone conversation is already pretty strange. Black guy detective for the first time ever, and KKK Grand Wizard. But Spike makes it even better with the way he frames it. David Duke is sitting all relaxed, confident, framed all asymmetrical and tilted. Like, even the camera knows that this man's worldview is twisted. You get me? And of course, in the background, a giant flag with an extremist Celtic cross on it. Not sure if Spike just didn't want to spam swastikas, or if the art department was like, hey, let's mix it up today, because this doesn't really look like the ones I was finding online associated with Louisiana. But hey, either way, the idea gets across. Pun intended. Then we dolly in on Duke. Serious, calm, believing every single word coming out of his filthy mouth. That's the scary part, the investment in the delusion, which to him is just reality. Meanwhile, Ron's shot is tilted too, but in the opposite direction. Ron operates from center of frame to illustrate that he's not forgotten the goal. He's focused, not relaxed at all, because he's on a mission. Spike is basically telling us that these two are in the same conversation, but not on the same page.
The organization doesn't either. They just need to be with their own. That's what Pinky would say. Pinky didn't mind segregation one bit. She just wanted to be with her own kind.
Sounds like she was a mammy to you.
You ever seen Gone with the Wind? Pinky was my Hattie McDaniel. She won the Oscar for that role, Best Supporting Actress.
So, side note, Gone with the Wind stands as one of cinema's most prolific classics. At its release, it was the largest production Hollywood had ever attempted. Lavish sets, groundbreaking Technicolor cinematography, and every element designed to dazzle you. Its success was also tied to its timing, though. We were talking Depression-era audiences connected with its themes of survival while escaping into a swirling historical backdrop. Like, it was just a perfect storm. The film also marked a huge milestone in black cinema history, because Hattie McDaniel became the first black actor to win an Academy Award. At the same time, Gone with the Wind idolized the American South, right? So during the Civil War's Reconstruction, they were showing very stereotypical enslaved people, very stereotypical lens. So if you were to show that today, it wouldn't come off as well. So it is remembered both as a monumental achievement, don't get me wrong, in filmmaking, and as deeply flawed as the cinema is, it is also remembered for that. So off of that brief explanation, you can kind of see why Duke likes that movie. Watching this again to make this video, David Duke sounds exactly like the far right influencers you see online today, like eerily close to the exact same ones. I'm talking point for point, word for word. He's given Nick Fuentes before Nick Fuentes was even Nick Fuentes vibes. You know what I mean? Let me know if you agree down below.
You were Scarlett and she was Mammy.
That's right.
Right.
Then we've got the close-up of Duke and the close-up of Ron mirroring each other again, but not the exact same. I also think that having them kind of on opposite sides of each other when you cut back and forth really does help sell the conversation between the two of them. David is isolated in his office, but Ron is surrounded by a bunch of workers, at least in the background. In the foreground, there really isn't anybody around them. It really is just the two of them and kind of their own world. And this kind of framing helps sell that idea that this is just for the two of them. Nobody else is involved. It's a strange intimacy knowing what we know.
That's funny, when she passed, it was like we lost a member of the family.
A good is funny like that. In that sense, they're like a good dog. They get real close to you. And as soon as you lose them, it just breaks your heart.
That's well said, Ron.
Now, let's talk acting. John David Washington kills this scene. For the most part, his face is a straight mask, emotionless, no joy, just giving Duke the exact response he wants to hear.
I knew a coon once.
Did you?
Yeah. That Negro lived across the street from us. I must have been 6 or 7. His nickname was Butter Biscuit.
And then he cracks just that tiny smirk, and that one little moment I think changed everything.
How'd he get that nickname?
He loved his mama's butter biscuits.
Yum yum.
Me and Butter Biscuit play together every day. One day my father came home early from work. He told me I couldn't play with that little spook anymore because I was white. And Butter Biscuit was a nigger.
And as he tells his story that definitely feels like it was ripped out of his own life experience, the audience feels the pain through the screen, all because of that subtle shift from being some kind of response machine to being fully engaged, and not engaged in the conversation itself, but rather reliving his own tale.
It's so rich. Well, your father sounds like a terrific man.
He was a true American.
Probably my favorite sequence within this scene, the pause that lasts just a little bit too long until he catches himself and brings it all back. Meanwhile, you got Dunce over here, David Dukerton, chuckling, having the time of his life.
This is why we need more people like you and me in public office. Get this country back on track.
Spike then hits us with these side-by-side shots of Ron and Duke. Usually you see this kind of stuff in anime when two rivals are about to clash, but here it makes the phone call feel much more engaging. This ups the energy for the audience as we don't need to wait to see the reactions as we cut back to them, cut back to him. We see everything happening at the same time. At first it looks like Ron's even losing steam, like he's about to nod off, but then he slams the table, waking himself up, shifting the frame and snapping back into it. And suddenly, he's back, baby.
Amen.
For America to achieve its greatness again.
Absolutely.
Duke, meanwhile, is just over here vibing. Like, yeah, I made a new best friend. Nope, buddy. You're getting played.
Boy, I sure wish we had a chance to chat face to face.
In due time, my friend, in due time, I will be in Colorado Springs for your initiation.
You're coming to Colorado Springs, sir?
Now we got the flip side-by-side reverse, I guess. But it sells the whole who's in control part really well at this point, because the flip of the side-by-side puts Ron in the position where he's sort of just looking directly at David. Almost to say, I got you. Exactly where I want you. While David's frame facing nothingness, basically he's just doesn't even know what's going on. He's just looking off into some whatever. He just thinks he's going to meet a good buddy. That's all he's thinking about. But he's about to get got, and it's beautiful. This is the sequence that kicks off the whole second act, and honestly, it's one of Spike Lee's sharpest. He takes something horrifying, the KKK, and finds a way to both show us how dangerous they are and make them look ridiculous all at the same time. A perfect balance of comedy and horror. And that's it for the video. If you enjoyed, you'll love the next one coming up. But until then, like, comment, and share this out.